Hey everyone, it's Robin and welcome to the Robin's Nest. Today on my channel I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this adorable mermaid cake that's going to look like she's swimming on the front with her little tail sticking out of the water on the top. Now I've seen this cake style on the internet for quite some time and I have been dying to try it, so we're going to have some fun with it today. Now let's get into it. So today we're starting out with 3 6-inch vanilla cake layers, which I've colored with some AmeriColor Gel Colour in teal and royal blue to give it sort of a wavy water effect. So we need to start by trimming these down and leveling them out, so that way when we stack and fill them, everything stays nice and level. So I'm just going to trim these down, and I've already preset my leveler to where I want it. And then we're just going to discard out cake tops. Okay, now it's time to stack and fill those layers. So we're just going to take some American buttercream, which I've colored with some more of that AmeriColor teal. And we're just going to take a tiny little bit and put that on our cake board. And this is going to be our glue to help the cake stick. And we're going to apply our first layer of cake. Give it a nice press down to make sure it's stuck there good. And then we're going to add a nice thin layer of this buttercream in between each layer of cake, and then one final coat of icing all over our entire cake to seal in all our crumbs. And there we go. Now, once you finish your crumb coat, you're going to want to get your cake off into the fridge to chill, because you want all this icing to firm up really well. Because when you put your final coat of icing on, you don't want all these crumbs mixing in. So we're going to get this off into the fridge for about 20 or 30 minutes, and when we come back, we're going to start working on some decorations. Alright, so the first decoration we're going to be making is the topper for our cake, the little mermaid tail. So I'm going to start with a little piece of pink fondant, which I've already added some of this Tylose powder to. Now what this stuff does is just allow your fondant to dry and set up much quicker than if it was just to air dry. And I find it very, very handy when making toppers. So I'm just going to start by taking my fondant and we're going to start working it a little bit and warming it up with our hands to make it easier to work with. And then we're going to start to shape the rough shape of our tail. Now because I don't have a cutter or a mold or anything like that, I'm going to be using a variety of tools to help me create the texture and make it look a little bit more realistic. So first I have an X-Acto knife in case I need to do any trimming. I have some Dresden tools which are going to help me create the texture at the end of the tail. I have a little straw which is going to help me create the scale pattern. And then I have some brushes which I'm going to use to dust it with a little bit of gold dust and make her extra shimmery. So should be extra cute. So I finished my tail and I've set that off to dry, but I did have a little bit of a mishap. While I was trying to do the scales, I was twisting it a little bit too much to get to the sides and the tail fins started to break off. But I was able to make a little bit of a glue from a tiny little piece of matching color fondant and some water until it made a paste. Then I filled it in and just stuck it back together. And when that's dry, you won't even be able to tell it happened. So now we can finish the rest of our decorations. So I have some green here that we're going to use to make some seaweed, some little twists of seaweed, sorry. Then I have some pink and some purple and some yellow. And we're going to use that to make some sea anemones, some coral, some starfish, and some little golden seashells. They're going to be so cute. And if you guys like that little tip that I gave you with the edible glue, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button too. So let's start with our seaweed first because this is pretty easy. So we're just going to roll this out nice and thin. And then I'm going to cut some nice long pointed shapes. We're just going to twist them up and let them dry. Okay, so I should have more than enough seaweed now. So now we're going to move on to our coral reef. So I'm going to use my darkest pink here, and this is almost like a nice fuchsia color. And we're just going to roll this out fairly thin, not too thin though. And then we're going to use our X-Acto knife to cut it out into little shapes of coral. And now we're going to take our lightest pink and we're going to roll this out and use our little star cutter here to cut out some little starfish. And now we're going to take our purple and make some little sea anemones by taking a small piece. We're going to make a tiny little sausage shape. And then I'm going to take my Dresden tool with the little ball on one end here. And we're just going to stick that down in the end on one side. Just like that. And then you're going to make a couple of these and then you're going to cluster them together and we're going to make a few of those go all the way around the cake. And for the last of our sea creatures, we're going to take our yellow and we're going to make some more little tiny sausage shapes, but we're going to make these ones a little bit longer. We're going to taper them at one end. Then we're going to curl them up and make them look like little snail shells. And then I'm going to dust them with a little bit of gold dust as well to make them shimmer. Alright, so we finished all of our adorable little sea creatures and now it's time to work on cutting out some letters for the name on our cake board. So as you can see, I've drawn up this stencil here. And we're going to use this as the template to cut out those letters. And this one's going to be made in pink. And then I've also done up a little number 5. which we're going to cut out, and we're going to dust that with some gold dust. It's going to be really cute. Alright, we finished making all of our decorations except for one final piece, the mermaid's head. But I want to make that as I'm putting it on the cake because I want her hair to be nice and pliable so I can make it look all flowy and like it's floating in the water. So the next thing we have to do is finish icing our cake so we can do that. So I'm going to go grab that and the rest of our teal buttercream, and we're going to add our final coat and get that as smooth as we possibly can. And there we go. I think that looks really good. I got it nice and smooth, and I was really digging that little edge around the top. It looks a bit like a wave pattern, so I left that. I thought that was really nice. So now we get to finish making our mermaid. So I have a couple of different pieces of fondant here. I have a flesh color and a bit of a dirty blonde. We're just going to try to keep this really simple. So I'm going to do a very simple oval shape for her face. We're going to give her a cute, adorable little face, and then I'm going to take a piece of this dirty blonde color and we're going to cover just her scalp. Then I'm going to get that into place, and with the rest of our dirty blonde fondant, we're going to create all kinds of little strips of hair and make it look all flowy like it's floating in the water. Then once I've finished that, I'm going to give her some arms, then we can add the rest of our decorations and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Well, here she is, guys, and I could not be more pleased. I am so happy with how it turned out. Her tail looks so good, even better than I thought it would, and you can barely even see where I messed it up. It held together really, really good. So I really hope you guys like it, and I hope you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed making this for you. So if you guys are still watching, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up, some love in the comment section, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button too. And don't forget to ring the bell if you want to see more videos like this one every time I post a new one. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.